I was 13 the first time I realized my home wasn't safe. Our house looked normal from the outside. A small garden, a quiet street, lights that made everything seem peaceful. But inside those walls lived a man who loved control more than he loved his own family. My father. He wasn't always a monster. That's what my mother used to say. But I never saw the good side she talked about. What I saw was anger. His voice was always louder than ours, his rules stricter, his punishments crueler. And every time he raised his hand, my mother stayed silent. Maybe out of fear. Maybe out of hopelessness. As I grew older, so did the violence. Every mistake I made, real or imagined, became an excuse for him to break me a little more. I was 12 the first time I realized my house wasn't a home. It was a cage. My father's voice was always loud, always angry, always searching for someone to blame for his failures. My mother had learned to survive by staying silent. And Mira, was the easy target. The daughter. The quiet one. The one who didn't fight back. It started with shouting. Then broken plates. Then the beatings. Every mark on my skin felt like a reminder. No one is coming to save you. But I wasn't as powerless as they thought. By 16, I kept a notebook under my bed. Not a diary, but a record. Every bruise, every lie, every moment they tried to break me. I didn't know what I would do with it yet, but I knew one day I would use it. The worst night came during winter. My father dragged me by my hair because dinner was too cold. My mother stood there, watching, frozen, not because she didn't care, but because she was afraid. I looked at them both and realized something. Fear is a prison only if you stay in it. That night, while they slept, I packed a bag, took my notebook, and walked out. But this isn't a story about escape. This is a story about revenge. I lived with a friend's family, finished school, worked 2 jobs, and rebuilt myself piece by piece. I studied law, the very thing my father always said I was too stupid to do. Every exam I passed felt like a crack forming in the walls of the cage I had left behind. By 22, I wasn't the frightened girl anymore. I was someone they would never recognize. And now it was time to go back. I filed a report with the evidence I had collected for years. Photos, dates, hospital records, witness statements, the notebook, everything. When the police arrived at my parents' house, my father tried to shout his way out of it, like he always had. But this time, his voice didn't control anything. For the first time in his life, he was the one who looked scared. My mother, trembling, asked me, "Why are you doing this?" I looked her directly in the eyes. Because no one protected me. So I learned to protect myself. In court, I didn't cry. I didn't shake. I stood there with the same calm they once mistook for weakness. The judge listened. The evidence was loud enough. My father was sentenced. My mother entered a rehabilitation program for abused spouses. The house, the cage, became just a building with broken memories. People ask me if I regret anything. I don't. Revenge wasn't about hurting them. It was about ending the cycle they forced me into. It was about choosing myself, about turning fear into fire. I wasn't the weak daughter they thought I was. I was the storm they never saw coming. But I never broke. I was quietly learning, observing, waiting. Months later, I stood in court and watched the man who once terrified me try to defend himself. But truth is heavier than fear, and I had all of it. He was sentenced. My mother finally left the shadows. And I walked out of that courtroom free. I survived. I fought back. I won. And now, whenever someone asks me how I found the strength, I say the same thing. A daughter can only be broken if she chooses to stay silent. I didn't.